That was beautiful. Thank you. All right, well, I want to welcome everybody here today, and wherever you've come from, whatever your path is, know that everyone is always welcome here on Sunday or any of our classes. And today we have Rebecca Abraxas is doing our music. Yeah. Opal James will be giving us a special prayer. And yes, thank you, Opal. And if anyone wants to pray with the chaplain afterwards, we have many people here that would be more than happy to pray with you, or you can fill out a prayer request on the back of the chairs and put it in the prayer box in the back. And we have Ken, who keeps us moving and in order, and thank goodness, because we moved things up a little bit. We have a special guest speaker today. So Doug Goodfeather is here with his wife, Butterfly, and I am very excited to hear this. I read his book. It is an awesome book, and it is not so different from Unity. So I know that you would all enjoy it as well. So we are going to move our announcements to the end, but we'll go ahead and do our statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Our prayer for the earth, our Mother Earth. When we speak, we call on the faculties of wisdom. The old ones would tell us that teachings from the spirit world travel on the wind, and the wind is born in the south. Wisdom is part of this spiritual intelligence that allows us to see people and situations with clarity, as well as natural understanding of the relationships between seemingly unrelated things in nature that are around us at all times. When we pray, we pause and we listen. We listen for that wind, the wind that listens to the earth, for it speaks. And if you listen, you will hear the earth speaking to you. When we listen to the fire, the almighty fire that roars around us, we feel this fire, the warmth of the fire from the sun and the moon and the stars. It speaks. When we listen to the wind, the almighty wind, we listen to the wind when we pray, and it comes and it warms us with the fire from the sun. It speaks. Only listen. It speaks softly to us. When we listen to the water, the brooks, the streams, the ocean, the roar of the ocean, of the stream of the brook, just listen. Listen quietly, for it speaks. It speaks to us always. And listen to your heart when you pray. Pray from within, deep within your soul, and rise up, because you are connected to the earth, you're connected to the water, you're connected to the wind, which is born in the south. And all of these things we know because our ancestors speak to us when we only take a moment. We take a moment to listen with clarity and wisdom and understanding. And so it is. Namaste.
We can't change a problem when we're stuck in its quicksand. Arm in arm, sinking deeper if we don't see a bigger plan. Be you now, be the glory of life, standing tall, be the change, be the power of a new dawn. And this is where we start. Where we start. Like a phoenix from the ashes, we can rise above the masses, straying from the rat race trail so our hearts can really sail. Be you now, be the glory of life, standing tall, be the change, be the power of a new dawn. This is where we start, where we start, where we start. Will you remember your greatness above your demise? Will you remember the truth instead of all the lies? Will you remember what's right about you instead of what's falling apart? This is where we make change from. This is where we start. Where we start. Where we start. change and be the power of a new dawn. This is where we start, where we start, where we start. Yeah. Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I wanted to introduce our guest speaker. And I want to tell you, he's written this book, and it's a really good book. So I want to talk to you a little bit about who he is before he comes up to do his talk. He is a Native American Lakota. He was raised in the traditional indigenous ways of the elders on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation in South Dakota. He is a direct descendant of Grandpa Chief Sitting Bull. He's the executive director and spiritual leader of the Lakota Way in Colorado and co-founder of Spirit Horse Nation. I got to meet Doug and his wife, Butterfly. Linda introduced us, and we went to it's Lakota Way Healing Center to meet them and invite them to come to speak. And he was so gracious. He invited us to, with Penny, Linda, and I, to stay for their healing circle. And it was beautiful, and it was awesome. And you could tell there was lots of healing in the people that participated. So thank you for inviting us. That was really wonderful. He is the author of this book, Think Indigenous, which teaches us how to build a bridge from our life in the modern world back to the deep ancestral roots of our innate spirituality. So I would like to invite you up to speak. Is there anything I can do to help you with your things? Okay, I'm going to just sit right down here and enjoy your talk. Thank you.
All right, I brought my big old bag with me. I'd like to say good morning to everybody. Well, chante washte yuha hinachchi washte chichapi na wiaka washte mielo. I like to say from my heart to you, I say good morning to you, and my name is Doug Goodfeather from the Hunkpapa Lakota Nation from the Standing Rock, Lakota, Dakota, Nakota Nation. I was born and raised on the South Dakota side in a little village called Rock Creek. Rock Creek, you know, there's a little town over here called Rock Creek, or little. But I was invited here to speak and kind of like reference towards my book, and just so I'm going to ask you to have an open mind, because I'm going to bring some things to you that is going to make you think, and also we're going to learn together as well. And so I was born on the Standing Rock Nation, and I was raised by great-grandpas and grandmas and grandpas. And so I was born on the cusp of the old way and the new way, the old way kind of turning into the modern way. So I was born on that cusp there. So I was able to really learn or understand our philosophies and our way of life, our culture, our language. So I still speak our language pretty fluently. And back then, a lot of my elders didn't speak English. So I was really inundated with the language and the teachings behind it. And so our language has a lot of teachings in it. So everything you learn, you continue to learn from the language, because it's a philosophy. It's not just a word. The word explains a story. So you're constantly learning from the language. That's how intelligent it is. And one of the things that I bring to a lot of people is the things that I've studied growing up in our ways, and the things that I've learned, the philosophies, the science, the mathematics, the logic, the spiritual, and the linear, and the in-between. And that's where I'm at. I was born so some people are born more scientific, mathematical, linear, logical. Some people are born more spiritual, religious. I'm born right in the middle. So I bring both. I'm the bridge. I believe that I'm the bridge to bring these two things together, to help people understand, because I studied not only the culture, but the spiritual aspects of the rituals that we conduct in ceremonies. I love water. So I bring this. So I studied a lot of our culture, a lot of the things that we behind the rituals, and so I can speak to people, the logical people, and make sense, help them to make sense and say, "Oh, okay, got it." So that's where I bring to the table, and a lot of things that we've learned. And so, I brought also some stuff to show you, and why we use them in our culture and in our ceremonies and our way of life, and how important they are to society. And so the book is a part of it's my way of life that I wrote down. And it came from a vision quest that I went to. And so when I got back from combat in 2004, I had to go through a healing process because I got injured in combat. I had a mild brain injury, and my body was hurt from IED, so I had to heal from that. And going through that process of healing and understanding what was wrong with me, actually trying to find out what was wrong with me mentally, emotionally. And so going through that process, I was married at the time, and my family at the time left. But I understood why. I understood why. I was different. I came back different, and I was wounded in war in the mind, the heart, the body. And so I had to heal from that. So I had to go through a process of healing. So I went back to our culture to heal. And here, from a hardship, but it didn't just was about war. It was my life that I had to heal from, the things that I had to learn from. And so I went on a vision quest. And through that vision quest, this is where the organization Lakota Way Healing Center was born from. So it's a spiritual, everything that I do comes from the spirit world. So a lot of things that I learned, I'm quoting them. I'm quoting from dreams. I'm quoting from the vision quest, what I learned up there and what brought me down. And I sat up there for 4 days and 4 nights. And when you do that, you don't drink water or eat food. So you prepare for 1 year, though. You have to it's the mental you have to make strong. Exercise, emotional, everything you got to prepare. And you go up there and you fast. And there's a spiritual mirror that they bring, and they put it in front of you. And so at those times, a lot of times you talk about, some people reveal their near-death experiences, and they talk about this. And this is one of them. This is like a near-death experience, a vision quest. Also, going to sleep is like a near-death experience because you're dreaming of relatives that are already gone that come and talk to you, getting answers from things that you're studying. Einstein did it. Got a lot of calculations from his dreams that he was trying to figure out. So these are the things that I've learned. And so when you go up there to learn, to to learn self-actualization. So for me, as a Lakota, as an indigenous man, as we all are indigenous to this earth, unless you're from Mars or the moon, but grounded from this country, from where I was born and raised, these teachings came to me. And so I was taught the old way. I was taught about the religion, and I was taught about spirituality. And so, the reason why is because they wanted to educate me so I can be effective and efficient in this world. So I knew our ways, grew up with our language, but I also know the Western ways, the scientifics, the mathematics, and I know those things, studied them, so I know our ways and those ways. So I put them together and learn. But some of them are it's like a magnet backwards. It can't. The Western doesn't fit with the spiritual. It doesn't connect. Some does, but not all of it. And that's what I learned. This is just my experience. So for me, I'm not a religious man. I'm a spiritual man. And people say, well, we're spiritual too. So when they say that to me, there's questions I have behind that. Do you believe in free will? Do you believe in tears? Do you believe in generosity? Do you believe in, for me, I don't believe in sin. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in that stuff. I believe that what I was taught was just pure love, pure direction home. That's it. We stop in places, I guess, and do a review. Same thing in Vision Quest. You do a review. So this is my teaching. This is my experience through my dreams and through my walk of life, through war, through addictions, through abuse, through I guess these abuses that have stuck, that have taught me. But in my walk, this is what I've learned. And so for me, it doesn't hold me back. I don't have limitations because everything that I do is a purpose. There's a reason for it. And for us as a Lakota indigenous man and Hunkpapa indigenous man, Lakota, there's philosophies that were taught to me from Earth, from our mother. So we look around the world and we see the people in Alaska, the snow people. Now they have a ritual that region of the world taught them. There's rituals, there are explanations of animals or to determine things. The earth taught them how to explain these things, teaching them how to explain, teaching them different rituals that happen in life. They use that, and they use that in ceremonies here. They realize that it's not only is it intelligent, but it's a spiritual connection, spiritual intelligence. So we bring that as well because it was the Alaskan people, the Eskimos, Tlinkits, those tribes that literally told the scientists that the earth has shifted. And they said, well, how do you guys know this? How do you guys just live on ice. You just hunt seals and walk around. But through thousands of years, we use constellation. We use the travel. Animals use it. Birds use it at night, that fly at night. The whales use it. At night, when animals travel, they use the constellations. They travel so as well as we. So they were always wondering, how does one animal get from one place to another without having a compass? And they said, constellations. And so the professor said, well, how'd you guys know? Because we follow the constellations constantly. We know where they sit. We know where they are. We know where we are when we look at them. And so when we follow these, it becomes a ritual comes a routine. So in that routine, something shifts in that routine, you're going to know it. You're going to know it. And that's how they told them. So they studied it. They took all their scientific machines on. They did all this analyzation, studied it, and said, oh, you're right. Well, of course, we've been walking this ice for thousands of years. Of course we're right. We know it. We know who we are. We know how to connect constantly. So you see the African people. Now, the way they look is the way they look because of that region. The way their rituals are, the way their prayers are, the way they pray, how their philosophy is taught to them by that region of earth, Mother Earth, to describe things. Same here. Everywhere in the country, in the world, that's what has happened. But we came here with an ego, and that ego took over that thinking indigenous. Because if we stayed thinking indigenous, we would be surpassed this time. And because I say that is because we're in a man thought. Right now, we're in a man thought. So that man thought blocks everything. Growth, spiritual growth, everything. Because there's so much things going on. There's war, there's racism, there's pollutions, sicknesses. It's stopping everything. Spirituality doesn't do that. Thinking indigenous doesn't do that because it includes everybody. We're supposed to be together as human beings, as Homo sapiens, moving together, learning from each other, helping each other grow. And our scientific school create different aspects of a better living for us, healthy. So they said, well, how's your scientific? How does your scientific look? I'll show you. Here's our scientific calculations right here as an indigenous thinker, right here. This is our scientific calculations. To you, it looks just like a dream catcher, right? But it's sacred geometry. You see it now? Now, in these scientific geometries, there's stories behind it. There's a certain way where they put the bead. But they also use it for bad dreams. So if you ever watch Freddy Krueger, you can hang this above you. Just kidding. But that's our calculations right there. That's how they look. They don't look like numbers. This is a scientific calculation. It's a teepee, a place where you dwell, a home. You dwell in a home, but also represent the wind. The teepee represents the wind. The teepee represents the women. The women are the one who engineered this teepee. And how they engineered that teepee was a routine, was thinking, intelligent, spiritual. The wind came and taught them how to set that up. So it can withstand some high winds. Because every summer we camp, and I always put up my teepee. And there's a village in London, in England. It's called the teepee village. They literally live that way. Just constantly. For me, I moved out of a teepee when I was a little boy. Just kidding. But I grew up in a house and everything, so. So these are scientific calculations, and it represents the wind going around as well. The wind. It represents the lightning striking. The horse hooves, because the horses were our allies. They took us into war. They took us to hunting. They helped our family move. They carried our babies and our elders. We became best friends with them. They became our relatives. They became uncles and brothers, aunties and uncles. So this is how we relate with things like that. A relationship that can take you from one place to another and have a bond that way. So these are something that people don't realize. how intelligent our culture is and the designs. Because our designs are sacred geometries. They're geometric designs that talk about the calculations of how a storm comes, what it brings. We have colors that represent each direction. That's why I have it. But all these colors not only represent a direction, they represent the color of man and this earth. So we have this representation like that. So we're thinking why colors are like that. So we say to the west is black. So it brings the storm, the thunder, the rejuvenation. It wakes the plants up, wakes the hibernation animals up. First thunder, they welcome back the thunder beings. Wakes up everything. It wakes up the seeds. It starts to create this vibration throughout this earth that you can feel inside the earth. So we see that scientific right there, but also spiritual, because it's a vibration coming. It's moving, and it's waking everything up. It's a movement of vibration throughout the land. So we know that. We see that. We studied that. So we become happy, and we welcome back. Thank you for coming back, because we're going to have good food now. Good medicine is going to grow, because it's going to rain, and it's waking seeds up and everything. So we think like that. Don't just think, oh, geez, here comes a storm. It's going to be a bad day. And think of the children. Think of the animals. Think of the medicine that's going to grow. So, speaking of medicine, I brought some sage here. And this is South Dakota sage. And when you take it like this, and you go like this, it has that mentally smell. Really strong mentally. But when I was a little boy, I'd see these, my elders, my grandpas and grandmas, they make a big sage ball and they'd be wiping themselves. Sage bath, they call it. Because the sage is literally antibacterial, physical. So you can put it in water and wipe your tables and clean it. You can take a bath with it, clean it. You can smell it and it'll clear your nose if you have stuffy nose. You can drink it and take your headache away, and it releases your lungs and helps it breathe better. So there's a lot of purpose for the spiritual and physical. So when you light it, the smoke clears the aura, clears the space, puts your mind in a peace. And the reason why I do this, now that's a spiritual, now we're going to connect with scientific. So I'm going to take the spiritual, I'm going to connect it with scientific. So there's a protein peptide that's in our brain. And when that smell hits it, it literally calms the nerves in the body down. Literally takes away addictions. Literally takes away PTSD, calms it. If you'll say it, clearer, looser, feel better. So that's one of the medicines that we use in our ceremonies, but in everyday life. And sometimes I'll go like this, and I'll wipe my face. I'll put some sage in my ear, and wipe my ears, or leave it in there. And the reason why I leave it in there is we want to hear good things. So our intention is, I want this day to be good. I'm not going to let things bother me. I'm going to keep moving. But sometimes it's hard. So we use medicine to remind us. We use these things to help us to understand, wake us up that day. So that's one of the medicines that we use. And it's, I just brought that to share with you. And another medicine that we also use is the Sweetgrass. And this is also a medicine, and this represents invitation, inviting. So it smells sweet when you burn it. It smells sweet when you, like this, smell it like that. But it's also clearing and cleansing. It's more feminine. That's what that represents. And so these are the kind of things that I bring to people to help them understand people don't realize how intelligent a culture is. Because people have perceived judgments about us that are only judgments, only assumptions. So, we were civil people. We had a government where you didn't have to lock your doors, that the neighbor helped you out if there was something wrong. Somebody over there needs help. We go hunt for them. That's where the village raising the child comes from. So that's how we were a social group, but we adopted that culture, that philosophy from the buffalo people, from following and learning about the buffalo. They had a culture too and a language. So the Lakotas lived with them so long, but throughout this whole country, even across the world, there was buffaloes and it outnumbered humans. So sometimes when they say that our philosophies come from that. So what I've learned about that is that the buffalo people have taught us so many things, has sacrificed and given us their lives. But also we took their philosophy to also reciprocate that sacrifice, to give back, to not be in vain. But we use these things to teach on. And so these teachings were, you never leave a warrior behind. It's one of their philosophies. The longest journey in the mind to the heart. Because the buffalo is going to take you into the storm to heal you. Because it never runs from the storm. It goes into the storm. That's why it's built like that. So as people, we need to learn to understand to go into the storm. To heal. Because we need to feel that emotion. Because when an emotion's coming up and it doesn't feel good right away, what do? We either get drunk, or we either self-medicate, or you either go to the doctor and you're medicated. Now you're addicted. Now you become dependent. Now you're dependent on that. So one of the things about the buffalo people who are taking you into the storm is they want you to feel that. Because that's the body healing. And sometimes healing is hard. If you have a wound, it heals from the inside out. Same here. So and the feeling is not wasted. Nothing is wasted. The intelligence that's coming through you, learn it. Learn why you're feeling it. Learn the emotion. Learn why it came. What happened for that? And learn. And then when that comes to the surface, cry. Let it out. And a lot of men say, oh, man, I don't cry. I'm not like that, man. I'm going to be strong, I'm going to teach my kids that. Don't be crying. You know what happens when we stop crying? A given right we're born with, other disorders set in. Disorders, addictions, anger, irritability, shortness, sicknesses come in, cancer, diabetes, heart trouble, because now you're stressed because you didn't let it out. See how intelligent that is? But men, we're taught to be strong. But my grandma said it takes a warrior to cry. So remember that. I did this talk one time, and I taught that. And this man came up to me, angry, standing in front of me like this. Why are you teaching that? That's not true. I said, why do you think that's not true? Because my grandpa taught me, and his grandpa taught him. He was so proud of that teaching, so strong in that teaching that he held on to it. And he was getting so frustrated, he started to cry right in front of me. And he couldn't handle it, he walked out the door. Kept all that anger inside, kept it. Now he's carrying it around wherever. Now he's probably dead now because of it, I don't know. But that's one of the things I experienced. Not only there, I'm experienced from my grandpa, until my grandma, put him in check. No, I was kidding. So these are the things that I've learned, and the things that I've learned growing up. and my own studies and my own experiences. And, once you make an oath to be a warrior for people, for the world, for all life, there's no turning back. Once a warrior, you're always supposed to be, because you make an oath, and you're not making it to just the people, you're making it to the Creator. So you better keep that oath. And being a warrior for all of life that means that you are here to teach, you're here to learn, you're here to help, you're here to heal people. And one of the things that I've learned, that I'm not a healer, that you are your own healer. I just get you unstuck. I don't give you a pill, I don't fool you, I don't keep you dependent. I teach you how to become independent from those things. Because that's where you learn that pain. You have to learn it. Or don't be afraid of yourself. Study yourself. Learn who you are. Well, and then learn, and I know a lot of times, as older people, we're set in ways. We're set in ways we grew up with all our lives, and all of a sudden somebody like me comes along, like, oh man, make you think. And I'm just sharing my teachings from my ancestors and my relatives, my people, and how I was taught. And so a lot of times when I teach these things, it sometimes gets people upset. But like I said, sometimes we have to learn, sometimes the hard way. And that's how I learned. I learned the hard way, and I've been through a lot of things in my life, but everything that I've been through is my teacher. So growing up, there was a lot of things, that I've learned. When you when you go to the village, it's inside a big ravine, a coulee, and you stand on top, you can see the village on them. It's beautiful, rivers and trees. And then I was looking at it in a dream. I seen it in a dream, and I seen all these black things swimming around. But they were separating, all separated. I was wondering where they were coming from, 3 different buildings. So I was looking at them, and they're all different people. They're all separated people. So I was really looking at it, and then a few summers ago, we went back, and that dream came to me when I was driving down, and I realized something, that it was the churches that split the people, and people were turning on each other, that this church is better than that church, and that church is better than this church, and this is the right way, and yours is the wrong way. So I studied the churches I wanted to see. So I went into theology in college. I wanted to study what these are all about. And I learned something very, it was really mind-boggling to me sometimes, because all these religions fighting over the same Creator. And I didn't understand that. Why is everybody fighting over the same Creator that they pray to? And so it really confused me a lot. And then I realized it was control. And it was ego. And so my great-grandpas taught me at that time, when they were teaching me our ways. When we were done, they would say, don't speak of it, just to us. Because at the time, we were going through boarding school. It was dying out, but at the same time, we were being extracted. So there was government teachers coming to the reservation teaching us. And they were whipping us so that we could get whipped, and the parents were scared to say anything, because the government would come in and take your kid and put it somewhere, put us somewhere. And so these are the things that we didn't understand that was coming into our lives. But one of the things that I've learned about that is that it started to, these people that were coming were starting to become more compassionate. Things were changing, I understood that. And so, in those times of healing and growing, I realized that the process of healing was coming, and we were coming out of it, but it was like a scab. Sometimes it gets ripped off and it has to restart the healing process. So these times of that, growing up in this time, it really taught me something too. That I wasn't stupid. I wasn't a stupid little boy, which I was pointed out to be. But what was happening is I was surviving. I was trying to survive in school. So I wasn't stupid, because when I went to high school, I bloomed. And my mathematics and scientific skills popped out. And so I realized that the abuse that was happening like that was affecting my learning. So I realized that it wasn't me. But there was people that came back to the res that also came back to apologize and sincerely. And some of them still live there, these government workers. Say they changed. They saw the humanity, and they realized the government was different. So these are the things that I've learned from, but also, I was also adopted too, in 3 different homes. And every one of those homes were a torture chamber for me. So I still got scars in my ears from the wire snips cutting my ears. They did it so much where, okay, it was normal. So, okay, go play. At first it was crazy. So these are the things that I've been through, but I learned something from all of these things and these abuses that I've been through and these wars and these addictions, that they were really my teachers. They became my teachers. So I took everything and I studied everything that I went through. And everything that I went through, now I'm helping people heal from that. So now that it doesn't hold, I'm not a victim of it, I don't hold it over me. Now I'm in control. Even if the memories come back, I say, oh, okay, I remember that memory. Now I'm going to learn from it and teach somebody about it. Heal people, help people understand. Hope. So when I went through these things growing up, and it wasn't just it was also I was adopted by, when I came back to the res, I was adopted by my grandparents. And they didn't learn how to heal either. So they passed some abuse on to me too. My grandpa was a Korean War veteran. And his dad was a World War II veteran, and his dad's dad was a World War I veteran, and so on and so forth. I'm a combat vet, and my dad was a Vietnam vet. So that's the way we believe in as a Lakota. We're a warrior society. So no matter what happened to us, no matter what was done to us, we still toed the line because we realize that all humanity in this country deserve to live. These are our people now. We must protect them. So this is the thought of the thinking of a warrior, how that was taught from that perspective. So that's how we went forth to toe the line. Even we were considered American citizens yet. Still towed that line. People came back because of languages. People are alive today. Families are alive today because of our languages. So remember that. So if you see a Native man, you don't know if they used his language. You see a family, you don't know if that family was alive, is born because the soldier came back alive, because they deterred a bomb or deterred them from getting blown up or killed or going into ambush. So just think like that. So that's how the first code talkers were the Hunkpapa Lakotas from Standing Rock and the Oglalas. And then in the Second World War in Korean War was Navajos and the Lakotas. So it wasn't just the Navajos. It was Lakotas, and there was there was other tribes that they used in their languages. And the tactics we used and how we went to war was very different in the way we think. So these are the things that I was brought up and how I learned, and the things that I teach people, and the importance of it, and how we need to heal together, but learn it. Don't be afraid to learn it. Don't be afraid to study yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and see if you can tell yourself you love yourself. That takes courage. It takes courage. Because in our Lakota language, when you say the seed, it's nula. Seed is nula. The mind, tawachi. What you think is what you make. So the mind goes into the seed goes into the mind. And now what you think is the water, what you make. Now you're watering the garden. Now it becomes a flow of what you believe in yourself. So that's how I was taught. And the word for that is wakuza. Wakuza means like bringing something with the thought. And so these things, that I've learned from this time, even because in my psychology teachings and my help, I've learned that people carry scars and wounds all the time, dragging them around everywhere, emotional, mental. And when you do that, you make excuses to revert back to them. You're not healing them. You're using them as excuses now. I have this scar and it just bothers me. And learn it and heal it. Body wounds, body memory, learn it and heal it. Learn how to love your body. Learn how to take care of yourself. Eat right, cook right, think right, believe right, walk good. And we have mistakes that we make in life. This is why I've learned that mistakes are meant to happen. But not just for us. Their mistakes are meant for some people in the future as well. Our mistakes. And how you make mistakes right, I've learned, is just be a good person. Simplicity. Good person. When you're good, you got energy, vibration of good coming out. People get attracted to that. They don't even know why, but they got attracted to it. And all of a sudden, people are telling you all their stuff, and you're like, wow. And another person over here, back here, and and he smokes. Because you're giving off this feeling of caring. People feel that. And so when you're making your mistakes right by just being a good person, these mistakes are teaching you something about that mistake. And these mistakes are introducing you to people. And that's how you're healing these people in the future. Does that make sense? Like that. And life is not meant to be easy as well. It's meant to challenge you. We need to evolve, grow, and grow like the trees. Have new ideas all the time, like the leaves. Always new. Always. Get rid of the old, bring new things every season. Things like that. There's a reason why we have seasons. Some countries, some part of the world, they don't. So they lack things. They lack things. In the body, in the mind, the sun, the trees, because everything we have our hearing, we have our sight, we have our smell, we have our breath, connects to everything. Water, if you hear water, it's the best sound in the world. At night when it's raining, puts you right to sleep. Touch, just the touch of it, it feels good. You're thirsty, drink it, man. Quenches that thirst. The wind, the element, wind. And wind represents for me is free will. Goes where it wants. Element of water, movement. Don't stay dormant. Move all the time, else you're going to spoil. Start to get sick. Lock yourself in the dark place all the time. You need to get out. That's why we have the sun. That's why we have the trees. These are things we're given rights we're born with. People forgot all that stuff. We think we need a psychiatrist with a pill. We can go outside and get all that fresh air and heal. But there's man-made sicknesses we can't even heal from no more. Elements are, it's too strong for the elements. So a lot of times that I bring this to the forefront, to help people understand the way I've learned and what I've studied and how these things connect with everything and everybody in the world. And there's a word in my language, it says, mitaku ye oyasin. It means everything that the Creator has created is my relative. We're connected to. So that's a word we've saying for thousands of years. We're connected. We're all connected. Scientists finally saying, "Oh, we're connected." We've been saying it. We've been fighting for water, fighting for the water, fighting for the land. And now everybody says, "Oh, we should fight for the water and for the land now." Now everything's imitation, GMOs. There's more leukemia in the world that for our children. My daughter passed away from leukemia in 2014, and my grandson, she was 1 month away from having, and they couldn't even bring him out. So they both went home. But there's something I also learned from that. We blame all the time. We blame ourselves. We blame God. And when death comes, blame and shame. But something my daughter taught me was we were praying together, and I said, "Take this sickness and give it to me. I'll take it." And she just stopped me. No, Dad, that's meant for me. Don't give it to him. She said, and it just surprised me, blew me away. And they said, if you abort your baby, you probably have a better chance of living. No, I'm not going to do that because, what if I live and my baby doesn't live? I'm going to feel bad. And my baby could have lived if I lived. I'm going to have that question, so I don't want to do that. So she made an ultimate sacrifice. And there's a process we go through for 1 year. It's called a mourning process. And people would say, "Are you mad at God? I know you're mad. I know you're mad." I said, "No. I'm actually even more closer. I believe even more. I'm stronger in my belief now. I'm more determined because now I'm looking forward to going home because I want to see my daughter again, but not yet because I got work to do." So, I learned that process for 1 year. I cut my hair. My hair used to be longer. Cut my hair. But when that hair grows, it's a witness of your healing. It's a witness of your spirit getting stronger again. And then for 1 year, you're learning how to cry. This is where I really learned how to cry. You're reminiscing, but also you're learning from helping others that are going through the same thing. So you're helping others. So they're teaching you, and you're teaching them. You're comforting and you're helping them. So we're healing like that. So we're moving forward like that. So that 1 year comes, you let the spirit go, and you move. Now it's time to get up and live life. So people don't know how to do that or haven't learned those things in life, and so they carry around burdens. And they're dragging around burdens. And that's why you see people divorcing right after somebody dies or things like that happen. Family falls apart. And so these spiritual laws help us heal from these things. They help us grow from these things spiritually. And they help us to understand who we are as a person, as a human being, individual. We have questions in life that no human can answer. So you have to go straight to the source. And how do you do that? How do you go straight to the source? one of the things I've learned is going on a vision quest. Now we have a sweat lodge that we go to. So I studied the sweat lodge. And we use lava stones in there. Now one of the things I said, I wonder what are inside these lava stones. Why do they make us feel so good after? So I took them to the university in Fort Collins, had them study it, analyze it. They came back with the ions and the molecules and the minerals that were in her. And there were minerals that were just like drinking spring water, clean water. Because it also has memory in it, because when the earth freezes it or hardens it, or when it hards, things are stuck in there. So when you heat it up, it starts to heat up, gets red hot. We take it in a sweat lodge. As soon as you pour that water on her, it goes shh. All those ions and minerals start to release. Go into you, and all of a sudden they're pushing all, detoxifying you, pushing all the negative things in you, you're sweating it all out. You become lighter, become more, even your minds get fresh. You feel really good, like uplift. It oppresses addictions. It oppresses PTSD. And like I said, go back into the dinorphin peptide again, scientific. And when your body heats up, it depresses that. So you're healing in her. The body, the mind, everything. Memory, all healing. Because you're connecting, because when you pour that water on the rocks, it makes the sound of space. So everything's connected. Everything has a connection and a meaning. We use the willows, the red willows, or we make a dome shape. Back then, they used to use hides, but today we use canvases. And it's just us. We sit on Mother Earth and we ground. So we're detoxifying everything. Through the ground, through the water, through the rocks, through helping each other. We're bonding in there. You close it up, it's pitch dark. You can't see anything, but you can feel the people. You can feel people. You feel the people healing, people mourning, people crying, but at the end, that's when you feel that exhilaration, release. So these are the things that I've learned in my life to bring to people, to help them to learn, and for us to all learn to heal, all learn to stop fighting each other. Why do we fight each other? Why do we fight our own people? Why do we do that? Why do we go to war with other humans from the same earth? Why do we do that? From that that eat food like we eat, drink. Why do we fight like that? Is it because of color? Is it because of religion? Is it because of language? Is it because of culture? What is it? Why do we do that? Why do we always doing that? Is it because of superiority, we think and believe, that we're taught? Is it because of that? Is it because of that we're from the earth? We lived on our mother free-willingly like that? Is it because of those things? Because we don't believe in a construct? What is it? What is it? Why do we do that? Why do we do that to each other? People chasing women down the road because they're dressed in a burqa or dressed in a different, or because they're speaking Spanish or they're speaking different language. Why do we do that? Why do we do that to each other? When in the beginning we all came with languages. We all came with our own identity. We all came with the culture in the beginning. We had a culture. Every one of you, every one of us. That's why the book I read, you can go back and find that. Because I traveled and I spoke all over the world. And I've learned from everybody that, that our human emotions and our connections literally connect us. Literally, our energies connect us. But we push that away because we look different. We don't want to accept it. So we have to understand that if we don't heal, we're going to repeating the same thing over and over. And I don't know what will come after that. Is there a side effect? I know there's side effects going to come from all these wars. All this death, all these side effects coming yet. We didn't feel it yet. Maybe we did. I don't know. We need to remember human values and family values, not race values. Human and family values, not a race. Human. Because that's what I feel like America voted for. They didn't vote for human or family values. They voted for race. And it unbalanced the law. The law has to come back and balance, though. It's got to balance, and it's gonna balance it out. So we got to understand that, how important that is. That I'm teaching you and you're teaching me. I'm helping you and you're helping me. You see, there's no difference between there. But we made it a difference because we didn't like that person, the way they looked or the way they spoke. But yet we can still feel each other's emotion in a different way. If we really sit in a sweat lodge and pray, that heat's going to bond you. You're going to suffer through that heat, and you're going to learn the meaning of relationship. You're going to learn the meaning of mitaku yeoyasi. Because when I sat on a hill for 4 days and 4 nights, I experienced things up there that I've never saw in my life. And one of the things that came was the butterfly people. The butterfly, and I call them people because they have a life. And if everything fights for its life, it means it has a spirit, right? It's fighting for its life. It doesn't want to die. So when I got back from combat, I'll finish up with this. When I got back from combat, I went into this depression and really had a hard time. I thought I had Alzheimer's because I couldn't remember a lot of that. Still forgot a lot of things from my past. And so I went, and then one of my buddies, he was a Vietnam friend. He came over and picked me up and took me out to eat, and then picked me up the next day, and he was telling me that, you need to go get help because you're different. And so I said, yeah. So I went back to my culture, my people, but I also went to the VA, and they helped me too. But what they did was they inundated me with pharmaceuticals, and I got sicker from that. My kidneys started to shut down, so I had to quit taking that medication. But they still helped me, and physically, and my physical therapy and things like that. So I went back to my people, and one day I was driving from work, and all of a sudden I just got so emotional because I was going through this process. So I pulled in a ditch, and I was standing in a ditch, and I was crying and praying. All of a sudden, I knelt on my knee, and it was on my knees, and somebody picked me up. I said, "Oh, thank you," and I turned around, and there was nobody there. So I wiped my tears and got in my truck and went home. And 2 weeks later, I had a spirit dream. An old man came to me in a dream. He said, "Hey," he said, "I want you to prepare for 1 year. And when this 1 year comes, you go to our sacred mountain in the Black Hills. There's a mountain called Bear Butte. You're going to sit up there for 4 days and 4 nights, and I'm going to come and test you." So that whole year, I prepared just from listening to that dream. No human from that dream. I prepared. So you psychically, you got to prepare your mind to fast. So you start practicing how to fast. Fast 4 hours, fast for 8 hours, learn how to fast for 24 hours. Repeat it every month, and then the time comes. Exercise can be, even though you're sitting fasting, still physically, your body's going to eat itself. So you got to learn how to understand that. So I studied myself through that time. I kind of got a little bit chunky before I went up because I knew I was going to be up there for 4 days, so I got myself ready that way. Gained a little weight and brought a buffalo robe. Sat on Bear Butte in the Black Hills. The first day it was good, nice day. Still starting to feel that thirst. Second day, first thirst hit me bad. I started arguing with God. I was like, I don't want to be up here. Why am I up here? I don't deserve, why should I believe in this way? I was trying to make a excuse to walk down, leave. All of a sudden, all these butterflies came. Hundreds of them. Little tiny ones, all colors, flying around. So I was watching them, and then all of a sudden they left. All of a sudden that came back again. So arguing, getting mad, and trying to leave. And then all of a sudden all these other different butterflies, bigger ones came. And they were flying around me. And what I didn't realize that they were flying around me for hours. When I thought it was only minutes. So they were up there all day. They took my mind away from that frustration. And one of the things my grandma taught me, she said, I said, Grandma, look at the butterflies. She said, Taco's your grandson. She said, those are one of God's many warriors. She said, so that's what came to me up there. And they left, and it was already getting dark, so I started cozying up, but it started getting windy at night. And then third day came. I woke up, and I was really suffering then. This bird came, and it was landed on this tree. Right here, there was a branch, and I could have touched it if I wanted to, and it started chirping. Bluebird started chirping this beautiful melody. And that's where it just hypnotized me. I went into the dream. I could hear that, even in the dream, I could hear that bird singing, but it was a song. And that old man came. He said, I'm glad you came. It's good that you come. He said, that was me. And the dad picked you up in the ditch. He said, that was me that came to you in the dream. He said, it's really good you come. He said, look. And I looked, and the ground rose. It was in the dream. It was turned into a storm, and the ground rose all the way level to me. And all of a sudden, I seen all these people, all walks of life, every color, every ethnicity, all there, angry and torment and despair, just war and people disrespecting each other. He said, "Look, you people make yourselves sick." He said, in order for the people to heal, people must be willing to pick these ways up. And to understand how to love and how to forgive. Only until then, you will not heal. He said, when you're done here, you go back to where you were born and raised. Here you will find your answer. And that bird was singing that melody. So I brought that melody down. So when I sing this song, I'm quoting what that spirit world brought. So this is a song that I brought down. But when I came down, I went to Rock Creek and Standing Rock, and I was visiting all the people that I grew up with and trying to find out what he meant by coming here. But everybody I talked to was in just despair. Everybody. Death, addictions, paralyzation, jail, prison. It was all despair. And I went to my brother's and I slept, and the dream came again. That little bird came. This time we were standing on the plain, and there's a village way over there. And he said, "Do you see it? Do you see it?" And I looked, and there was buffalo and people standing there. And this is where Lakota Way Healing Center was born. And then I realized it was a healing center. And this is a song that I brought down. Takashelai Oshimalayoy Chewakielo Hai Chanupakile Yuhayewaelo Chewakielo Hai. Thank you very much for allowing me to come and speak. I appreciate all your time. Metakuyase.
That was beautiful. That was wonderful. Thank you. Big hugs. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Wow. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go to our offertory blessing. And thank you for your patience that we heard this beautiful wisdom from the indigenous thinking, and it was just beautiful. So we'll go to opportunity to support unity on the avenue. And there's many ways to do that. You can use cash or check, or we have a square in the back. We also have a way that you can donate online. So we want you to know how much we appreciate that. It helps support our church, our community, and we also help out with other nonprofits. So thank you for that. We'll do our blessing. Please join me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So let's do our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And lots going down today. Keep loving, keep giving. This may take some forgiving. Don't let them take your power away. No, we can change the world with just one loving thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world. When it all seems lost, keep loving, keep giving, keep getting up when you're down. Do the right thing when no one's around. Ooh, we can change the world with just one loving thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world, change the world. Ooh, day comes for my soul to be freed, I wanna know that I put love and peace into destiny. We can change the world with just one loving thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world, change the